right, what's going on, everybody, ladies and gentlemen? Once again, is Volleyball Dad's podcast. Like we said, we're back in action on the scene. I'm here, of course, with my great partner in crime, or just
Dang.
partner in volleyball. How about that?
Yeah, partner in volleyball it probably go over better.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but we straight out of Texas, so
Yeah, yeah.
where we go. Well, man, welcome. So Damon and I are here once again for your listening pleasure and
Yep.
we got some very interesting things we want to talk about today, but we are not doing this alone. Once again, we
Nope.
love to bring people from the outside. We tell all of you as well, you
Yep.
want to join the show, hit us up. And so one of our guest hosts today is another volleyball dad out of
Thank
the
you.
DMV area. For those who don't know, that's the uh
DC,
DC, Maryland,
Maryland,
Virginia
Virginia.
area. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
you
You're
thought I
right. Gotta
forgot.
get it
I know
right.
what DMV is, man.
Get it right.
But
You
he's
got a
here.
little you got a little stuck, man.
Yeah, I know, right? But we're good. But hey, we want to introduce Kevin Chadwick, dad, volleyball dad. Kevin, introduce yourself.
Appreciate you, man. Glad to be here. Now, the cool thing is, I'm in the DMV by way of Texas, though.
Yeah.
So remember that I'm from Texas. I'm
They close
born
to
and raised
Texas.
in Dallas, but man, I'm a proud parent of a young lady who plays the great game of volleyball. Um, from Dallas, born and raised. Moved up to the DMV about 9 years ago. Man, proud to be a volleyball dad. This is something that was, thrown at me a few years back. Something I didn't know anything about other than the church league. I think I might have played in when I was a kid. But uh, but no, I'm excited to be here. Man, I run a business here in town in the Virginia area where we live, and man, just awesome to be a part of this. I remember meeting Dame years ago at Nationals, and then Spurge running into you, so having some good conversation, and said, "Man, I gotta get on the Volleyball Dads podcast here a little bit." And
There you go. And if you don't mind, it's okay if you want to. You can share your daughter's name, where she plays, and where
Yeah.
she's going to play at the next level.
I
Yeah,
will
give
do
us some
that. So
shine.
yeah, so she is Laila Chadwick. She's a junior. Plays for Metro Volleyball of DC, 17 travel. They finished third in the nation last year uh,
Nice.
in the
All
open
right, all
division.
right.
She has committed this summer to play at the University of Oklahoma. So
Congrats.
excited about that the process is over. I would say the process is
Right,
over.
right,
Excited
right.
for her and what's to come. Actually, we're headed to OU on Friday for her official visit with their other
Excellent.
2027 commit.
Nice.
So we're excited.
It's excellent. It's excellent. It's excellent. Man, well, we're excited for her.
Yep.
I've seen her play as well, and I
Yeah.
didn't know she's playing up at the time, and then I found that out too, which I was like, "Wow, that's solid." Both I think Dame's daughter played maybe up one time. My daughter played up on 17. That's a when you step up to that level, it's a whole different. I mean, you ready for action, and so it's good to see her. And then she's a libero, correct?
She started out as an outside hitter. So when she got into volleyball, she was an outside hitter. Again,
Hmm.
that's when everybody was the same height, though. Uh,
Right.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, yeah.
but she played for one club here in Virginia for a couple years. She played up, and then we kept telling her like, "You got some skill on you. You ought to think about playing this other club we heard about called Metro." And
Right.
so we
Yeah.
tried out one year, and she was 11 and tried out for the 13s team. And I thought as a dad, I took her to tryouts. I thought she had a great tryout. But unfortunately, the coach told her, "Yeah, you're a little young. Why don't you come back?" And so here's what I knew about my daughter when I knew she was a competitor. So we left the gym from tryouts. We're outside in the parking lot walking to the car. She stops. This is an 11-year-old trying out for a 13-year-old team. And this is the first thing that came out of my mouth. She hit the parking lot. I hope we play them next year. And so I was like, oh, there you have it. There you have it. I know
Yeah.
a little bit more about this girl now. So then
Yeah.
we tried out her 12s year for Metro and she made the team. So she's played up every year when she's
Nice.
been with Metro. So about 15's year is when she switched to libero.
Okay.
Gotcha.
15's year a little bit. So brought a little more height
Gotcha.
into the club, into the
Yeah,
team.
into the club. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
They got some long kids.
Yeah,
A
you
few of them
do.
out there.
Yeah,
It's a few of them. A
it's
few
some
of them on the
long
team.
kids on that squad.
It's
Yeah.
a few
Yeah.
of them on the team. A few of them.
Seen them over the years. They were The young lady that plays at Pitt, I guess that was our first introduction. She had a twin sister.
Yeah, Ryla
Um,
Jones. Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
and
Yep.
we played them. It was 14s, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, Sylvia's done a good job. She's done a good job of really building a program in the DMV area. I mean,
Right.
you think about the team last year where I think it was 14 of them, all of them went D1
Yeah. Oh yeah.
somewhere. So I mean, she's done a great job recruiting and building a program, and now she's getting younger kids in now, which is something like Texas. Y'all start them at 3 years old. Here in the DMV, they don't start till 13. So now we're starting to see a lot of clubs try to get the younger ages in now to
Yeah,
try to
right.
catch up. Which we're trying to catch up. We're just trying to catch up over here in the DMV.
Hey, y'all, hey,
Trying to
you
catch
finished
up.
third in the nation already. Y'all move pretty fast, so that's good. But there's a lot of talent in that area as well. And it's funny. A friend of mine has also daughters in volleyball in DMV area. I told him, I said, you need to try to get over to Metro. Nothing against the other clubs out there. I know they're building too, and we want to respect
Yep,
that.
yep, yep.
Yeah.
Great ones here.
But
Great
yeah,
ones.
but it's one of the top clubs, and if you can get there and get the training in that we knew, and we know that always makes a difference. So,
Yeah.
well, great for joining the show. I want to remind
Appreciate it.
everybody to email us your questions and all that at volleyball dads podcast at gmail.com, as you always do. And for those you new to the show, we're on X on V-Ball Dads. We're on Instagram. Dame hosts that for us. And also on YouTube, right, Dame?
That's right. So you can see our lovely faces as well. And like,
I look better
share,
off camera, but hey,
and
that's okay.
comment. Yeah, we don't filter.
The portrait lighting, y'all don't have that portrait lighting
Yeah,
on.
we don't have the portrait lighting and all that
Got it.
kind of good
Got
stuff.
it. I got it.
This is we're real
But
adult.
hey, but great. I want to talk a little bit about, and so we're going to hear a range of topics and stuff, and it's
Yeah.
interesting to seeing. One of the things that came across, we were talking about this right before we are on the show, is that, as you mentioned, Kevin, it's almost stages to this, right?
Mhm.
You
Hmm.
first get into volleyball not knowing. I think a lot of dads and maybe even those who now have had kids play volleyball. We grew up in the era of baseball and football and basketball and women's basketball, even
Right,
to
and
some
track.
degree. And
Yeah.
volleyball was this little outside thing that somebody did on the side of part time. But we're
Right.
seeing stages to this, right? Where kids get involved in club first, right? Trying to
Hmm.
test the waters.
Yep.
Then you get to the stage where, you know what, my kid's pretty good or might be pretty good. So now you get on these ultra competitive clubs that are travel clubs, right? So that's the
Yep.
first stage. Then
Yep.
it's the focus on, okay, I need to get into college. And I
Hmm.
can be on the D1 team if I can get into college and play well. And then you cross that barrier, right? Where you get committed, etc. Then you get into college. And then it almost starts over again, right?
Oh, it
But
absolutely
that
starts over
the
again.
prize is for a lot of dads and moms too, by the way, we parents, it's the prize of getting your kid into college, whether
Right.
at whatever
Right.
level.
Yep.
Your plan is competitive volleyball to get your kid to the next level, hopefully pay for school for free. That's just a huge bonus that we know in these times. But really finding them a way to play. But it's funny, it's how it's almost levels once you cross certain paths. The first one's getting on a club team is good and
Yeah.
travel. Then it's the whole, win the national championship too, or try to be as competitive as possible. But
Right.
the big goal is all these coaches see you and there you go and trying to get committed.
Well, it's
What are
funny.
your thoughts on that? I mean, has that
Yeah.
been somewhat the journey?
Yeah. I mean, when you think about it, I always say begin with the end in mind, but if a girl wants to play volleyball in college, there's a place for them. I just really believe that, whether it's
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah.
one, two,
Yeah.
three, and there's a place for them if you really want to
If
play.
you really want to, yeah.
If you really want to play. And so, but it is, Layla she's always sort of been in the sports, played I-9 soccer and I coached in basketball. We used to live in Lake Travis in Austin. So we coached basketball. My son played football. He plays at UVA now, University of Virginia. But so we always been in sports. So she would follow to help my wife and I out. She would sort of follow my son. So my son ran track, she ran track. Just helped out the Uber helped out the Uber schedule a little bit.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So she always ran track. She played basketball, and so when we were in Austin, living in Austin, this is right before she would do basketball clinics, and there was a coach there who also just did some training in volleyball. So we just did it just to put her in something. I
Yep.
mean, nothing. And then we ended up going to a University of Texas volleyball game, and we still got the picture of this. And she was at the
Hmm.
time, I think, maybe 8, and she literally just stood up in the stands and just stood there watching, didn't move, just watching the game the whole time. And so we didn't think
Wow.
anything of it, but we got a great picture of it. She used it in her commitment video when she was committing to OU. But then we got to DC and we went to another game, went to a Georgetown game, and she was playing basketball, running track. She tried lacrosse. And the thing about my daughter is, and I always tell the story, she used to run track. She was 8 years old, and she hated the 100-yard dash. She could run it, but she hated it because of how many heats it was. It's summertime, it's hot. It'd be a
Right,
thousand heats,
right.
and you're sitting there waiting. So she came on, I don't want to run the 100 anymore. So, and so I was like, you got to run another event. And so she says, all right. And there's a young lady that's at TCU right now running track. And I always say, I thank her for this. She's run track. She's a jumper. So my daughter picked the long jump. And she picked it on a Thursday, got on YouTube, started watching YouTube videos, 8 years old, and went out and jumped 10 feet on Saturday. And so she's always been this athlete of a player. And so she played basketball, run track, was pretty good in basketball, but she wanted to just try volleyball out. So we went to a club we heard was sort of a social club in town. And we just kind of did that. That's the level. We just kind of did that just to try that. I don't want to spend a lot of money. I heard because I had buddies in Texas who were telling me whose kids were older, like, man, yeah, it costs this, it costs that. I was like, no, I don't need all.
Yes,
I
yes.
got track, I got basketball. I'm good. So she goes to this club and she's playing outside hitter. She's 9 years old, 10 years, and she's doing well. And we're like, man, she's pretty good. And so, but we also see these other teams out here who were at a different level. And
Yeah.
so at the time, I was like, at the time, she's a kid. So you're like, she might be too good for this team she's playing on. And
Right.
so
Right.
I'm telling her mom, I'm like, hey, we ought to help, help her think about playing on another team. And so we go to Laila to do it. And she's like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to. I'm like, why not? I want to be with my friends. I just want to hang out with my friends. So is that level of trying to push
Yeah.
you up to
Yeah.
go do something else, or do I let you still have fun? And so we kept her on the team the next year. And so the team was okay. That's when COVID hit.
Yeah.
This was her
Mm.
12's year, and she was 11, but COVID hit, and she came to her own realization. It was interesting. She was going to play basketball again for one of the top teams in the area. The mom's daughter is actually AZ Fudd, who plays for UConn.
Oh,
Mm.
yeah,
And the
yeah,
mom was running,
yeah.
the mom was running
Yeah.
the club. And again, I get these my daughter moments here. So she had went to the tryout for basketball, but again, she's doing volleyball at the social club, I would say. And but she gets an invite to go to tryouts for basketball, and she goes, comes back home, and says, "I don't want to play basketball." I'm like, "What do you mean? Like this is the top club. Like this woman's daughter is the number one player in the like you could be. Yeah, I don't want
Right,
to play.
right.
She's again 11 years old, and she said, "I want to play volleyball." But I mean, like, think
Yeah.
about this for a minute. I want to play volleyball. And I was like, well, you got to call a coach. If you don't want to play, you got to call a coach. And she says, give me the phone. And she literally takes the phone, calls the coach,
Wow.
and says, I don't want to play. I want to play volleyball. So at that point, it was after this tryout when she was 11 for 13. She's 12 now. She tries out for Metro. And it was trying to get my mind that, all right, I'm about to invest in you
Right.
Right.
to this level. And she really loved the game, loved playing. She watches it. She watches film. And it was just cool to kind of see her evolve a bit and just really wanting to play. And that's something with both my kids I always talked about every year. If I was going to spend money to invest in you, I ask them every year, and she knows it. I'll ask her before the season, hey, do you really want to do this?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to pay any money if you don't. Like, do you want to play in
Right.
college? Yes, I do. And
Right.
I'll ask them every year. It's like a renewable scholarship. I'm gonna ask you every year,
Every year.
every year. And so she got to the point where her 14s, 15, she really wanted to do it. And again, if you're playing for Metro, or there's a couple, some other clubs in town, but if you're playing for Metro, that decision, like you're trying to play in college at that
Right.
level. So it starts to get, competitive, get to a different level. You start to get teams like that and they compete in open and everything. So like if you're gonna do this, you're gonna do it.
Yep, yep. That is, and yeah, that's true. I mean, I think we've all kind of had some of a journey like that
Yeah.
as well. I've had two daughters that came through and played volleyball, and then one decided not to go and play in college, and but I think she went to a great college and outside of that, so it just a different path for these individuals. But you're right that same thing I asked her. I said, hey, do you really want to play in college? Do you really want to do this at college? And she's like, my oldest, a senior, is like, nah, I really don't. Um, I said, well, don't. There's a lot of energy that goes into college athletics and sports. So, and time. So if this is
Yeah.
not what
Yeah.
you're passionate about, you're right. Go
Yeah.
find something else, and you're going to find other things you love to do. And that's what she did. My youngest daughter, obviously, now is committed over to Florida FAMU, and so she really loves being in an environment and being around those kids. So that's been a great thing to see. And I think Dane, same thing, right? You get to a point where it clicks for the young ladies, and it's what they want to do.
Yeah.
And the competition that they go up against, the talent in the gym we see and have seen evolve over the years has just been incredible, especially as you see these young ladies grow.
Yeah. Yeah, it was similar. I mean, really got a late start, to be honest. I mean, you put kids in the Y, and then you let them
Yeah,
do a lot of different stuff. And I mean, she's like 6 or 7,
yeah.
and then she used to dance. So,
Oh,
I
yeah.
was spending all day at those
Progression.
damn recitals.
That's the
You know,
Yeah,
progression,
I
right?
know,
Start to
right?
dance and keep moving, right?
yeah, and
Hey
then
man, I was so glad Mike got out of the cheer dance.
And so I remember sitting at U of H for like 14, 15 hours, waiting for the dance for like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
cool. And no biggie. It's like, whatever. You go to the Y, ball hit her in the head. She didn't want to deal with volleyball anymore. And so she got introduced to it again, like at like 11 in like Gator League. But my thoughts were, because the way her birthday falls, well, we don't want to worry about club. But she had one of those spurts. So of course they were trying to like, hey, well, she's tall, but she hadn't played. And so she hadn't kind of grown into her body. She's like, nah, we'll wait another year till she turns 12, or whatever. And so, yeah, it was a little different. But then after the first year, she was just like, well, I think I want to play beyond just this in high school. So me, oblivious, like I played basketball. So oblivious, yeah,
Yeah.
you ask the club director at the time, hey, well, what is you guys' game plan for developing these kids who want to play at the next level? Oh, just bring them to the gym.
Hmm.
All right, so I know better than that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
I've
And
seen that
so,
story happen.
yeah, and so I mean, well, and then you go to trials and stuff like that, and when you start doing research, you're like, well, you want to have a lot of kids showing up to trials because you want it to be as competitive as
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so while obviously over the years we've learned most of the teams are still made, you still want a gym full of people where you still got to elevate your game
Yeah.
to make it, even though more than likely, yeah, hey, pretty much, you may have a diamond in the rough that pops in every now and then, and like some kid moved from somewhere they didn't know. But for the most part, those teams are already made up because, as again, as we've learned, backdoor deals have already been done. Sometimes in the way our trials work in Texas, you
Bingo.
literally leaving nationals and trying out 2 days later. So you could be
Yeah, I
playing with one
mean,
team
yeah,
and have already decided that you're moving on. So
Correct.
that's a weird
Well,
kind of
and we don't have trials
dynamic.
till first week in November.
Totally
yeah,
different. Texas, you get
So
off the
yeah.
plane, you're going back to the
Texas, yep.
gym.
And then there's other people who are doing trials or signing contracts during the season
Yeah.
and before even
that's
the
great.
season starts. So, and each region is different. I understand too. I was talking to other people from different regions, and we talked to them on the show too. That
Yeah.
each region has different protocols
Yeah.
of how they actually can do it, and even protection around poaching kids.
Yeah.
As we use that term, and we've seen that before. So it's become, and especially now as we see the proliferation of women's volleyball. And like I said,
Hmm.
even tonight as we're filming, right? We know
Yep.
volleyball games are on
Yep.
and these ladies are playing on ESPN and college and stuff. And so the more exposure they get to them, which is also good for us. But I'm gonna circle back to your daughter a little bit and talk about she's a libero, depending on what's terminology you want to use.
Yeah.
I was studying a little bit, it means free, right? She can go in and out. But tell us what is the libero. I mean, my daughter's a setter. So I can give you a little knowledge on setter. Dames is a middle, so he can give you a lot of knowledge on a bit of middle.
Yeah.
But tell us a little bit about what it means to be the libero.
I had to learn this,
And
right?
how
I had
did
to,
she
because
get to
I,
that
I
decision, by the way?
I went fighting for a while. I did go fighting as she went to this position, and she'll probably tell you that her and her mom did, we
Mhm.
did. But I think about the libero, the bro, as we said,
Yeah.
something, the
Yes.
bro. I think of her as a superhero, and I
Yep.
heard this on something, right? That You know, man, she different color jersey. I mean, I need you to do whatever needs to be done. Position. That's what it is. Like you're the captain of the defense. You're the one who's keeping everybody hyped to make sure if somebody's down, you're there right in their grill to get them back up again. Because she's the one that really helps keep everything glued together as
Yeah.
libero. And so I think she's the champion for everybody on the court, all the other five positions on the court. Probably one of the loudest on the court. And we were
Hmm.
fortunate with Laila. She was the team captain. Like she was the only sophomore on the team
Wow.
of 17s, and she was the team captain.
Nice.
So
Wow.
kind of cool that to just watch her think about, and she's always been somebody who, even when she was hitter at 12s, 13s, 14s, she'd be the one who dive into the bench and dive over a table. I mean, there's a video out on YouTube of her at Nationals in Vegas in 13s where the ball was hit out of bounds and you just saw her take off. And she just took off and went full parallel at 12 years old onto the table, bounced. She got it back in. Of course, she runs back in. Only thing she's worried about, did you get the ball over? That's all she's worried
Right.
about. And so,
Right.
and they didn't get the ball over. They lost the point there. So she
Oh.
was happy about that. But yeah, the libero is really just that captain of the defense who really, their two main jobs, one, passing and serve receive. Like making sure that, man, can we get a pass if it's out of system? Can we get it
Hmm.
back to where it needs to be? And then making sure on serve receive, we can get it up to where the setter can grab it and go make a play.
Hmm.
And so,
Hmm.
when you think about that position for us, I call her like the superhero. When I first
Yeah.
heard that, I was like, man, you got the different color jersey every game, kind of cool. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
captain of the
Yeah.
defense.
And it's a lot of parents out there that don't know. They say, "What's the kid? Why the kid got a different jersey on?"
Yeah, no,
I,
it,
I
it,
I know what's also interesting is that she wants the front row to help her out, slow the ball down, get some tips.
it does help. It does help. That ball comes pretty fast over net sometimes. We played
Yeah.
a few
Yeah.
teams and that ball's coming. If that blocks, if I just get a finger on it sometimes, just help me out. Help me
Yeah.
out. Yeah, it helps, right? Because again, she's going to get in a position based on where her hitters are
Hmm.
to make sure there's the angle there of where the ball is coming to. So they all got to work together. It's like a choir. They got to work together. I
Hmm.
need you here. That means that I'll get here.
Yep.
And if you're here, I'm here. So it's interesting how they
Hmm.
still got to all work together. You can't really see that if you don't really understand the game and how they
Right.
position to do
Hmm.
things. And
Right.
so that's what's been so interesting for me to learn over the last couple of years. It's just I'm thinking, oh yeah, you just pass the ball wherever you are. But to start seeing how they move together. If the middle is here and the outside's here, okay, you're gonna be here. If they're hitting balls out here and I'm turning the block in, I need to be here when it. So it's interesting how it all works in concert a bit. So it's helpful when, man, if my middle, my right side can get a hand on the ball, that slows it down for me. That gives me a good pass to get back to my setter. So then we can get a kill. So it's interesting how it all just works together. But I do know this: if the libero goes on defense, everybody else goes.
Oh, it's done.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
that's the other thing
Yes.
about the libero position
Yes.
is that mindset
Yes.
of I'm like I erase everything. It's next
Yeah.
play. And so
Yeah.
that's
Yes.
probably one thing she's pretty good at is that she's a next play person. So because if she goes, it's downhill. It's
You,
downhill.
you guys are so close. Like you said, you got third, and you were in the thick of things in
Yes.
nationals this past year. And I
You
know
should have
it.
said she's over listening to you right now. So she just kind of she made some put her feet in there. She's not happy right now about that. She's not happy. She's
Hey,
not
hey,
happy.
hey, hey! I'm just glad we took him. I think we took him to 3 sets. I'm just glad.
Yeah, it was man, that was a wild game. I mean, it was packed on the court. I mean, it was
Yeah.
probably 6 rows deep. People were on the other stands that were on the court watching,
Oh
and
yeah.
we hadn't seen a game like that. There was a game. I don't know if you know the name Kari Spears.
Hmm.
Oh
Well,
yes.
she used to play at Metro, and so
Yeah.
it was a game with her.
Oh really? Okay.
He was
Yeah.
at Metro for you. Their 16s year. They had Emmy Selman from Penn State.
Yep.
This team was loaded, and
Yep.
every
Yep.
game
We
they
played
played
them.
in, it was crowded. Every game.
Yep.
But
We played them.
yeah, but Houston Skyline, we had played them earlier that year where and she's making other noise again. We played them earlier that year in Philadelphia. We beat them, had them beat. And you know how it goes.
Oh yeah.
Mistakes start happening.
Right.
Lose
Will.
Right.
second set,
Right.
they win, and all of a sudden you lose the third set. You're like, man, what just happened? And that's kind of the same thing
But
happened at Nationals. We did the
Yeah.
same thing. I mean, we crushed them, and then I don't know what team showed up the second set, but it wasn't the team that was in the first set, and
It
then
happens.
it just
It
That's when you're
happens,
dealing with
man. It
15,
happens.
16-year-olds. That's the thing. You're trying to find them to be consistent, like
that's it.
especially when you got that kind of talent. And the biggest component when you have that kind of talent is, can they work in concert together consistently?
Mm-hmm.
Like one of the biggest things you learn in sports is like every game could be somebody's game.
Yeah.
And so when you remove the selfish mindset, and it's like, hey, just it's dictated by however the game goes, because the objective is for us to win. And if somebody's rolling, but what you realize is the more balanced teams always do the best. The more
Mm-hmm.
if you're trying to rely on one or two arms, doesn't work. And that's at every level.
Yep.
It's at the
Yep.
club level. You see it at the college level. And because you wear a person out and you see them, it's like, oh, okay, well, we'll just sit on that person. And and they know that. And so, and then that's when the setter's like, hey, okay, I gotta trust this other person. And also we get a good pat, So you're right. It's like this, a well-oiled machine.
It's a concert, man. Everybody has their part in what they got
Yeah,
to do and how
yeah.
they got to
and,
move.
and
And teams are good. You got to feel like the other team is good too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
so sometimes it just runs. We see it now even in competition, at the collegiate level, at club level, at open level, at all different levels. We see
yeah.
there's some really good talent there. And if you get a team on a run, and you're right, sometimes come down to not making a mistake
Oh,
when it's
it's what it comes down
13-13, right?
to.
14-13. It
Yeah,
really comes down to who's gonna make the play or who's not gonna make the mistake. Did I
that's
get a
it.
good pass?
Oh,
Give
when
my
it's
hitter a good chance? Did
when
I
you have
get a good block?
14-9, when you have 14-9 in the third set and you still lose. So how about
Well, look, yeah,
that?
yeah, that
It's
has happened too.
mistakes though. It's mistakes, right? You need 1 point.
Yeah.
It's a
Yes,
But
mistake-free game that
you
you get into,
start playing,
man.
I tell them that last point is always the hardest
it's
point to
hardest.
get.
It,
It's the hardest point to get. There's no clock on this. Trying to get that last point, trying to finish
Yeah.
becomes so, and then the other team gets momentum.
yep.
And you're right. But that's why we love it, right? That's why
Yeah.
your
Oh
daughter
yeah.
loves it.
Oh yeah.
It's all the competition. And it drives me back to what you were talking about earlier. I'm sure your daughter appreciates this too, is that defense wins championships a lot. And you watch how important defense is in volleyball. And I tell people defense is so important. Even my daughter's a setter. I said becoming a better defender as a setter even
Oh yeah.
helps you even more.
Gives you an
I said
edge.
because you're right, out of system
Mm-hmm.
balls and all that, they're coming for you because they think you may be the weak link because that's what you're not used to doing. So, but defense went challenge. And so when I see libero like your daughter flying over the court, getting balls and just lunging, I know they got one a defensive mindset, but boy, it's a heck of an athlete too back there. Heck
Yep.
of an athlete.
Yeah,
Yep.
she is that. That's kind of what she's been known for. When she moved from hitter, I mean, because she can jump, but she just couldn't get the height. Everybody was the
Yeah,
same height, and she stopped. And so
yeah.
she was always known though. I would fly anywhere on the court to get anything, and I can
Mm-hmm.
jump. I can do this. So she's just an athlete who gets that. And that's what I think OU loves about her is just that she's an athlete
Yes.
and she's very coachable. Like you can tell her
Right.
one thing and she processes it and she has it.
Yeah.
So, so it was a smooth transition for her going into libero because again she was already defensive minded anyway. I mean we always talk. Our brother plays safety for UVA, safety and cornerback, but she could have played safety in high school too. She's that she wanted to
Right,
play
right,
football
right,
growing up.
right,
Like
right.
that was just kind of her thing. She would be out there with because she's at his practice. Remember, I tell you, Uber driving. We got to keep in one location, so she would practice with us all the time. So she was out there holding
Right.
bags and holding dummies and everything else. Uh, so yeah, it's fun to watch though, especially this year with her team and how they all because they've kind of all now been together
Mm-hmm.
from 15, 16, 17, and how they all came together
Right.
this year.
Yeah.
With her playing libero, I mean, I think she played her. This is probably her best season she's had as a libero this season, and she hasn't good
Excellent.
one. But the hitters on the team, outside, right sides, the middles. We brought in some other defensive players too. So this is the best year they played together as a team. And like I said, for them to make that run, I think they didn't finish below fifth place in any tournament. It was either second place or it was fifth
Mm-hmm.
place. It was like or first. It was either one of those.
Right. Yeah,
Second, fifth, or
yeah,
first.
yeah.
It was one of those. So it's kind of just a cool season to watch, and then to watch her lead in that as this youngster on the
Mm-hmm.
team because she was the youngest. It was just cool to see as a dad. It was cool to see. So
That's
I,
good.
I
That's
wore my
good
I
as
wore my
well.
volleyball dad shirt proudly.
Hey,
which
wait, hey, we gotta get you one, man. You know, you gotta
I
put
need
this
one,
on,
man.
man.
I
Now
mean,
you're in the
I need one.
podcast. You gotta wear the
I mean,
volleyball dance. Now
I
you
mean,
got one
I'll
more
be
kid
your,
being in the
I
club
can be your
scene.
East Coast arm over. I can be your East Coast arm of
Yeah,
volleyball
yeah,
dad if
yeah.
you need to. I'm
Hey,
just
that's why
saying.
we got you on the show.
I mean, come on. We'll get that up. We'll get that Mid Atlantic and East Coast on. We'll get it going up here.
Right, we're gonna get it rolling. We're gonna
Get it going.
slowly start going as
Franchise
well.
it out, man. Where we go? We franchise it out. Something like that. We'll do something.
And to our potential sponsors, yes, we are here. You reach out to us.
There you go. I love it. I
Speaking of
love it.
which, just a quick question: is she also playing libero in high school? 'Cause I know sometimes in high school, coaches want to do other stuff.
She's a hitter for high school. She's a hitter for high school. Yeah,
we
she's a hitter.
figured.
But see, I mean, it's.
She's
I
a
told
hitter.
people in high school, you're going to play. We talk about this all the time. High school, have fun, work on some other skills,
Yeah.
and just enjoy it
Fun,
because
fun is
that's
can
what
be
it's
an
for.
interesting word when it comes to high school. Fun can be an interesting word. Yeah, she played libero. They had to play libero in the playoffs last year. It was
Mhm.
I think Dane, you just played Georgia Tech. Your daughter just played Georgia Tech. So Mimi Mambu, who's on Georgia Tech
Hmm.
freshman, her and my daughter would go back and forth as hitters together. They played each other in high school, and so my daughter won some of those battles. Mimi would come back and win some because Mimi's a great hitter.
Yep.
Mimi beat us. Well, she got after us last year in the game, and we made a strategic decision. I say we. I'm going to embrace it.
Oh,
I'm part of the high school coaching staff because I'm the statistician for Max Preps, and I'm the announcer and
okay.
DJ. I'm announcer and DJ. So I'm gonna say we did. We made a collective
You
decision.
do it all.
Yeah, I got jobs. I got jobs, and I'm the videographer. Like at the game, man. I don't have the job of messing with the refs or anything. At tournaments, but I do have a few jobs. But
You don't
last year,
want to take Spurgeon's job, do you?
that is correct. He does it too
Oh,
well.
man.
It's only one out there. So we made a strategic decision to move her to libero in a playoff game last year, and unfortunately, she did the job she was supposed to, but we
You
took
need
the
some,
hitter off the front row.
right.
That
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
and
You can only
that
be in one spot. I mean, we
Yeah.
talk about that all the time.
I
If you
mean,
don't
front
have
row,
all the
back row.
horses, there's nothing you can do about it. You
yeah.
can't do
Yeah.
unless you can duplicate yourself. There's still levels, which is why you see a precipitous drop off from high school to club.
That's
And
correct.
like I said, you're having a good time and you're working, like Spurgeon said, you're working on other skills that you're going to use. Like kids all the time, like you're a complete volleyball player. I think one of the biggest things because they play so much club, they don't really do like open gym
Yep.
where
Yep.
they go
True.
show up and play
Yeah.
to refine those other skills where
Skills.
you're
I'll play other
getting
sports sometime, which I think sometimes a benefit too, but that's a
yeah.
whole nother discussion. I know nobody allows anybody to play a different sport, two sports anymore. But
Yeah.
those are also things I think that helps out with the conditioning, but also the
Mm-hmm.
body
Help the body.
chemistry of these young ladies. But it is what it is. So that's good. It's curious about that because I see that in high school a lot that kids are playing different positions and playing club where they specialize. I'll say it that way and high school just where you need because like Damien and I always talk club. I mean, high school coaches don't have the luxury of picking their kids as
Right.
much. Some
Right.
do, by the way. Uh, there
We won't
are
get into that.
a
We
few
won't get
that
into
do.
that. We won't get into that.
Yeah, we'll get that.
We won't get
But
into that. This is a
so we'll
family show.
see
This is
how
a
it
family
is.
show. Remember, this is a family show. This is a family show. Getting all that. We
Hey,
don't
no,
get
we
enough
talk about it all, man.
politics.
You're right. Some people picking their club, their school, but I'm gonna leave that alone too because of where we at. But let's talk a little bit about recruiting too. I think parents want to hear about the recruiting journey has been, and
Sure.
Dane's been through it. I've been through it. You've been through it as well. And tell me anything unique about what you experienced. Some of the things you didn't expect that happened on
Yeah.
the recruit trail,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but also, we'll get this next. I know Dane wants to ask this question about, what we do differently, right?
Yeah. It was, she's been getting looks for a couple years now. I remember her 15th year, one of the coaches came up to her and said, "Hey, this could just let you know the school's interested in you." And for us, it was like you knew it was coming, right? Because she was again a year behind everybody, so you knew it was coming. But when you were told that, you're like, "Oh man, this is real. Like
Yeah.
this is happening."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she would start getting some random emails, and The nice emails. We have general interest in you, right? We,
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
hey, here,
The
here,
camp invite
here's
or
a
the
here's a tree.
hey,
Here's a
we're watching
tree.
you.
Here's a tree on our property at the school, and we have general interest in you. Like it's just stuff like that. You get these letters.
Yeah.
So her 15's, year 16's again, because she's still 15, she's getting some stuff. We did the camp circuit. Again, I listened to y'all's podcast about some of this stuff when I started listening to y'all about a couple years ago. So we did the camp circuit, trying to. This was the big thing for us. And it was a challenge, I would say, in the beginning, because again, you're dealing with 14, 15-year-old girls. Hey, we got to send emails out.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
because they don't want to talk to me. The coaches they don't need to hear from me. They want to hear from you.
Yep.
So
Right.
yeah, I helped her with her film. Like, I do the
Yep.
editing of the film. I was the videographer for the team, huddle coach anyway. So
Right.
I helped her with the film, try to help a little bit with the email. I'm like, but you got to send this out. And it took a while for her to start owning it. But then she
Right.
finally wanted to do it. Once she started to see some of the fruit come a little bit, where she's getting these, here's a pretty tree on our property. We have general interest, and she started getting those. Then she started to do it. But still, it was a work in progress. My wife would get upset with me because I'm trying to get like, you got to send this stuff out. Well, don't pressure her
Right.
to do it. I'm like, no, 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 no. She. I know you're the volleyball mom. I know you got you. It's the
Yeah.
hierarchy here, and you got to always remember
Right.
volleyball as the hierarchy. It's the club, the volleyball mom, then the player, then the volleyball dad. I know the hierarchy. And so,
Right.
but she would get on me about it. I'm like, man, but she has to do this. Like, this is a part of the deal. And
Yep.
so, kind of getting into her, I guess, her age 16, 7 this year. I mean, they started coming. And one of the parents told us the year before when they went through the recruiting process, because we had some great players on our team. They went to a lot of schools,
Right.
Baylor, one's going to Tennessee, all this stuff. So we got to watch that. We got to watch how the parents were doing that process, how they tense up a little bit. So that helped us some too as well. But I mean, she was getting letters. She was getting letters, getting letters, and it was like, oh man, this school is interested in you. Wow. Oh man, I didn't know that. And we were fortunate because we were on that team. Like, I mean, there was a practice. I still got a video. There was a practice of all these coaches at our practice, and she
Hmm.
kind of got the benefit of that because you're in the gym with them. I mean,
Right.
you had schools from SEC, Big Ten, Big 12, all the ACC, all in the gym, in our practice gym, which was fortunate for us. But we get to the end, I mean, this year, and it's getting letters, sending letters out. She's sending emails out, sending film out, sending letters out, sending film out. I mean, that was the process. Probably every other week or so, we'd send something out, and she'd do it. She owned it. And then you get to June 15th, you hear about this June 15th. And so we
Yep.
we tried to
Yep.
work over the last couple of years. Last summer we worked with our club to think about, hey, what school should we think about going to? You try to utilize the resources you got. And so we last summer, I mean, summer before, we went to 7 schools,
Wow.
7, which was nuts.
Wow.
They were all schools that were
Wow.
interested in her, but part of it
Wow.
was, I mean, it was an investment to go do.
Oh
It was cool.
yes.
It was cool time for us. My wife was involved in Jack and Jill and some other AK stuff, so she was out on some conferences then. So it was just her and I a lot in the summer doing them. But for her at 15, 16, trying to get her used to, hey, this is a college in a city. This is one out in a college town. This is big, this is small. So get her used to that. And then we got to this year, we did some of the pre-June 15th camps that we thought folks, schools that were interested. And it's crazy, even that process a bit. We were actually at a camp on June 14th. Father's Day is June 15th, that Sunday.
Exactly.
It was a big rainstorm that weekend. It came from Texas all the way through.
Mm.
My daughter and my wife were at a camp in Dallas, and they were going to meet me in. I was going to meet them in Georgia. Their plane was coming from Baltimore to get to them in Dallas. It was all. We both got in at 2 in the morning. Then we drove to this school. Uh, we drove to the school. Went to the school. Good camp. It was a good camp. We didn't get home at 12:30 that night. I took her phone from the airport. I said, look, you don't need your phone. And they had practice the next morning, 8 o'clock. But that same school, who we thought had interest, ghosted. Nothing.
Yep. Yep.
Nothing. And we had heard that they might have had some interest in, we just heard that, ghosted. And so what was crazy though, and we were fortunate with was, man, she got her phone that morning after practice at 10. I gave it to her. All right, here's your phone, turn it on. And she had, I don't know, 100 emails, which is pretty cool.
Mhm.
Yep.
Being from schools up here to schools down here. But even during that whole process, schools that she thought were interested, because of transfer portal, because of everything else, we're not taking a
Mhm.
libero in your class this year. Schools that we thought
Right.
were interested in her, sending
Right.
letters to her. Big
Right.
school, yep, we're not. We love you. We love you. We love you. We're just not taking
Yep.
anybody to class this year. And liberos are always interesting because, again, a lot of schools will give liberos 2-year scholarships to
Right.
see some walk on. I mean, before she got full ride to OU, but
Mhm.
that was probably the biggest thing because you just don't know
Yep.
and you know this with setters too, how that
Mhm.
world. Everybody wants the hitters though. We need hitters. We need hitters.
Oh yeah,
And,
hitters and middles. They want
and
them.
so for her, there were schools that we were interested in and she was interested in that just came back and said, "Yeah, we're not taking your position." So that was, I think, even though she would say it was like, "Oh, I'm good," I think they kind of hit her a little bit when it
Right.
came to like, "Man, I was interested in that school or not." So,
Yeah.
but I always told her, I said, "Look, just go where you loved. Go where you loved. Just go where you loved."
Yes.
Go where you
Hmm.
love. That's all it takes. Just go where you'll figure it out.
Go where you love.
But
Yeah.
but
We'll
this
definitely
but
figure it out.
yeah, but this generation's
Yeah.
cooked though. She had a bunch of Zoom calls June 15th. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the word she likes. They're done. They're done for. She was done the first day. I don't want to do this. This is just I don't want to do this. I'm like,
Right.
but you have to. You
Yeah.
have
Yeah. Yeah.
to.
You have to push them. They have to, man. Going back to what you said about, I tell parents, I got parents who are still got kids that are not committed, that are pretty good play. Like I said, if you want to play volleyball, you'll find a place, right?
Yeah.
And I tell
Just
them
got
the
to do a little more
important
work.
thing. Yeah, important thing, and you're right. I think Kevin and when my daughter coming off an injury right before
Yep.
June 15th, right, really
Yep.
was different. And then Dame, I always put Dame in this little box because his daughter was always highly recruited, and a lot of people wanted her. It was easier, and I say it's easier because setters, libero, DSs are just not, setters is probably, pretty good to cook, but and outsides, everybody
Oh
wants
yeah.
them.
Here's a
Love
platter.
you.
Let's go for it. Here's a
It's
platter.
a platter. You're gonna get
Yeah.
it. You're gonna get the money. You're gonna get everything as well, right? Because they're the show at the front in the front row. But I tell parents that are still in the recruiting process, said, hey, if you don't send out film
Hmm.
and emails and do the recruiting with your child yourself, if you're relying on a recruiting coordinator at that club to do your recruiting, you made a mistake.
That is correct.
First of all, they got 100 kids in the gym.
Yeah.
Second of all, they're gonna focus on the big schools,
Yeah.
the big and the hitters, the outsides and stuff like that everybody wants, right? Or the kids that everybody is just looking at, and say you got to also do your recruiting. That's my feeling. You got to be
Oh yeah.
active with your kids
Gotta
in
own
the
it.
recruiting process. And you're right. Same thing. My daughter didn't want to send the emails out. Did we couldn't film for them? Say, hey, I got the film for you. Just send it. Put
That's
this
Yeah.
all you
note
gotta
in.
do.
You want to say, go send it. I don't care if you copy, paste, change, and that. Send it.
Yeah.
Right? Come from your email. It comes back to you. And things like that, the little stuff. Respond back to these coaches.
Yep.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
Oh,
know,
I made every email, every text she had to, whether it was favorable, you had to respond back. Every
Yeah.
one of them. I
respond
don't care
back.
how many you got. You got to respond back, and that was a big deal, man, for us to say, dude, these people are taking their time to come talk to you, send you an
Mm-hmm.
email. I mean, she got a great one from a school right before June 15th. Well, let me say, we've been watching you for a couple of years. We know we can't get you. We know you're a top 50 player. We want to offer you a full ride. But I'm like, you respond back to her right now.
Yeah.
Right.
I said,
Right.
coach, I don't care if you
Because
don't want to or not.
they move and they
Yep.
talk.
Yep.
And
Yes.
and so and then they'll also follow up with your coordinator, especially when they're trying to schedule calls and stuff like that. And even if they know that it's a long shot, but they will still follow up and say, hey, they broke up with me gently. Just little stuff that they,
Yep.
cliche
Small
words,
thing.
but stuff that they do to show that, okay, this is a coachable kid. They follow instructions. But not only that, they have the gumption again to not think that, hey, I'm here and I'm too good to just reply. Just say, hey, listen, thanks for showing your interest. It's real simple. I'm considering other options. If anything changes, I'll be sure to let you know. And you keep it, short and simple. They get that.
Yeah.
Um,
I know. I literally got an email from a friend of mine who copied me on an email to a mom whose daughter plays volleyball, and it's like, "Hey, she's in high school, freshman, thinking about recruiting. Can you give her some advice? I know your daughter did this." And she said something about this service. Should she get this service to do this? And I said, hey, awesome. Thanks for the email. Hey, let me give you a bit of advice. You got to own it.
Yep.
There's no service you can do that can own it for you. You've got to own it. At the end of
Yeah.
the day,
Absolutely.
I need you just to send out emails, film, change up the email. I don't care if you copy,
Yes.
like you said, copy paste. Like just
Yes.
change it up. Just make sure she don't the coach's put the right coach's name on it.
Right.
But right,
Right
just
school.
hey. But I told her I was like, you got to own it. And she's like, well, this is
Yeah.
service you pay for. I think it's a waste of money. You know, like I can't tell you if it's a waste at all. But I'm just telling you, you got to own it. You got to
Yeah.
send
You got to
messages
own
out,
it.
emails out.
So,
And so,
so
No.
it's not if the kid, if they just know the kid and the parents are lazy, that's where they have there is a market for that. And people, I mean, it's just going to do it. But then that also goes into like, are you serious about what you want to do? Like, because don't compare your journey to someone else's. And I think kids, because of social media, they get in the habit of that. They see people committing right away, and stuff like that. I'll go back because my kid wanted to wait, but then she starts seeing people commit, and so she started getting antsy. I'm like, no, you wait. So all of that pressure, you got to think about it. 15-year-old kids making a 40-year decision.
oh
Obviously
yeah,
got it by the parents, but it truly is that. And it's one of those things like you can get stuck on you want to be somewhere, but they got to want you too.
yep.
It goes both ways. And the kids also got to realize while they're sending you that great literature, probably sending it to about 20 other kids.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
You know,
they're doing the copy paste and the
right.
mass
Well,
Oh yeah,
emails.
to more people probably, to more people.
Yeah, they
I've
are.
I've
So
had
yeah,
this is no lie. Um, my daughter's club teammate and her, they sent her club teammate an email with her name on it.
Oh man,
And she said, "Hey, I think this is for you." But they laughed about it.
but
You
still
know,
though, it's like
but that's what I'm saying. They do
yeah,
it
yeah.
too, is my point. Obviously,
Hmm.
the kids will get laid into about something like that. My daughter made a mistake and called a coach, in the early time, a different name or maybe school, something like that. And then she followed up and apologized, but they decided they
But you
wanted to
never
not
know.
recruit her and that, but it happened. I mean, you think about it, you're dealing with so much. You
yeah,
think about it from work. I mean, you might like, oh God, you press send, like, oh snap. But it happens. And so you don't coaches shouldn't hold it against a 15-year-old, 14-year-old, responding to an email because some of those emails they can't respond to anyway.
right.
But but they want to know that you're acknowledging that they received it, and then they'll let the club director know that, hey, I got this email from Laila. That was great, because they realize that okay, they're following the protocol. And but these kids, they get in their head, they're like, I'm this in
Hmm.
some instances. And there can be a letdown when that June 15th comes around, because they were expecting this because they were getting this correspondence beforehand, and then it stops. As you mentioned, you called it ghosting. Um, and so that like if parents hadn't prepared their kids, like
To
to
understand.
have those conversations like, hey, there's a possibility. So like keep your options open, be respectful, and reply to everyone because you just never know. Like say people move around.
Right.
Well, that
Um,
happened. That happened to Layla. I mean, what she chose to go to OU, but even during our June 15 process, she actually told him no at first.
mhm.
Mm.
And we told her, and we were luckily there's a coach in our club who went to OU. Who, if you go to the McCaslin, her face is up there on in the
Oh,
stands on the
Yeah,
wall on the staircase. I mean,
wow,
she
wow.
she was good. She was good.
yeah,
Uh, and we told her like, well, why? Well, because we had went there last summer
yeah,
Right.
for a camp, and she was okay, okay.
yeah,
Man, what's wrong? I mean, it's a good school. I mean, what's SEC? They just got in with Texas.
yeah,
Like, this is gonna be
Yeah.
good.
yeah,
But again, 15 years old,
yep.
don't know what you don't know. Like,
Don't
oh,
know
about
what you
this
don't
school.
know.
What about this school? Oh, about this school. And
Yeah,
so she was looking at name. But then we go back
Yeah.
this summer, and she went to camp after nationals, and then she got a chance to play with about nine of probably most of the team was there at the camp. They had some of the girls over here,
yep.
but Layla
Of
was over
course.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so kind of cool listening to that experience of her playing with them, and uh, but it's you just don't know because again, in her mind, it was, well, this place too small. This is this, but you don't know anything about like you
Right.
open up,
Exactly.
open up more. But it's an
That's
interesting
the
experience, man. She
same.
got
Yeah, it
one of her
is.
schools in the process sent her on the Monday of June 15th. She got a FedEx in the mail, and we got a picture of it, but they wrote letters to her over the last 2 years,
Yep.
individual letters, and
Yeah.
then sent them all to her that day. Said we
Yep.
couldn't send them to you before this, but
Yep.
here are all the letters
Yeah.
we wrote. It was just strange, some of the stuff they do,
No,
man.
but that's super cool, and you're right. They do that, and it's neat that someone like you say took the time to actually put some thought into it. You will see some coaches that will, they will craft something out, and they would go to specific plays or specific
Yeah.
instances, where you kind of whether you supported a teammate or something like that. So they were really watching, how you conducted yourself.
Yeah,
Those things are cool because that's, obviously they're trying to do that to separate themselves. And it can, if the kid is interested, but then kids, they look at a lot of different intangibles. Where is it located? Um, who's on the
Yeah,
team?
some of
Who's
them
going to
look,
be there when I
where
get
their
there?
friends are going, all
Yeah,
that stuff.
oh,
Yeah.
all of that
who's
stuff.
going? Who they know
You
who's going to
know,
the team? Like
yeah, who they know that's
I'm
going,
going
right, right. What their
to.
record is, they look at
Yeah.
other things. And I tell people, I say, if you're not looking eventually at the academics or
Hmm.
the opportunity after volleyball, then you're also making yourself a huge mistake
Yep.
because that's a piece of it that, is the thing that everybody forgets about until year four. It's like, what you're really here for and what you
Yeah.
could get out of it is
Right.
also just as important. And so and it's a lot of things. It's like, hey, do you have your major? I was talking about, hey, do you have your major? Have something you're interested in. At the end of the day, you're going to be there maybe 2, 3, 4 years, whatever.
The
Yeah.
paper yet.
This is
Yep.
going to get you where you're trying to really go as an adult. And we've seen this, right? As working adults and being in the fields, like, yeah. And we've all played, college sports. It's like we understand, like, at the end of the day, there's life after this, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, how do we actually do that and stuff like that? Uh,
Yeah.
those are the kind of things that we actually try and help these kids focus on. But back to the recruiting process, what you said, we tell these parents all the time is that you got to own. You're right. You said it right, Kevin. You got to own the recruiting process. And I would never let a service do it for me. I've used the service to help track where my daughter's
Mhm.
interests come from.
Mhm.
But as far as them writing stuff for her and seeing it, first of all, a lot of coaches hate it and they can tell where it is because
I don't
guess
do.
what? That
Yeah.
service is not creating all these generic emails by themselves. They're not
Right.
handpicking. They got a standard template they emailing out.
Yeah.
And
And
so and cutting the film. And it takes hours of work. I'll help my daughter. I'll say I'll do film after you practice. You ain't got to, but you gotta send it out. But you're up at midnight, 1, 2 in the morning getting film cut,
Right.
right?
I
Or
sent my
helping them
daughter
get
an
to the
invoice.
best
So I
films.
sent an invoice of my time. I did send an invoice for my time
Yeah,
for
you
cutting
did.
film. I need that back somehow in NIL or something. I need that back some way.
Right, right, right. I
Right.
said, no, hey, give it back. And that's
Yeah.
the prize everybody looks for. It's like, and volleyball is different from basketball, even football, where these parents are having to pay for this. So I tell these kids, like, these kids in club, they
Yeah.
come from some families a little bit different. They say, why is it kids from inner? Look, right now, you're having to pay a lot to be in the club.
Yeah.
And we made a lot, especially on a traveling team.
Yeah.
And guess what? A lot of these parents don't have that with these kids, so it's a little bit different. But pay
Yeah.
that forward now when you get NIL money, other things like that, or anything else that you may get
yeah.
it. So it's a little bit different.
Yeah. She's
It's a
standing
little
right
bit
here. I'm
different.
trying to get her to sit in, hang out.
How
Look,
you doing?
I'm good.
LA, how you
Okay.
doing?
I'm doing well.
Good,
Congrats
good.
on your
Of course, I've
commitment.
seen you on the court.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
congrats on the commitment. Congrats on the commitment. That's going to be a good thing. So we'll still be watching you in the gym a little bit
Oh,
during the club season and all that. But it's great to see you there. So your dad's a proud papa. Proud volleyball dad.
he's
I
doing
know
well.
it's your
I've
mom that
been
has
sitting
all
there
the
listening.
athleticism.
I've been
You thought I
I
was
listening.
know
sitting
all the athleticism come from your
No,
mom.
I
So
know you talk to people, but like I had to listen because you're talking about me. There's a
there
difference.
you have it.
There's a
There you have it.
difference.
Wow. There you go. There you go. There you go. You want to go
so
back
since
over
we
there?
got you on the show, tell us a little bit about yourself since you popped in here.
Well, I mean, he kind of said most of the stuff, but yes, I'm a libero. This past club season was my third year. So in comparison to some other people's, not that long, but for me, it kind of feels like I've been doing it my whole life since I've started volleyball, since defense has always been my favorite part of the game because I always said you get to take the hitter's glory and all of their like fight and everything, which it gets on people's nerves, but I always have a good time with it. So that's my little spiel about being a libero. And
Keep
then,
that edge.
yeah, he said I do
Yeah.
outside high school. So it's not my favorite thing to do, but it's still pretty fun. It's still pretty fun.
It's fun to watch.
He loves watching me hit.
Yeah, as
Oh,
he
trust
should.
me.
It's fun to watch.
Yes, he should. And all his dad, we're proud of our daughters and stuff like that. And get to see, like I said, we've had a chance to meet you on the court once,
Hmm.
twice, but
Yeah,
we've
yeah,
come
Hey, those games were
close.
fun. Those games were fun.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
one thing I do want you to tell, so all the liberos out there, in particular, but could be volleyball. What's the one thing you think that a libero should be? What's the one piece of advice you would give to people who are aspiring liberos to get into a D1 school like yourself? What would one piece of advice you would give them about the
I
game?
say this to all the girls out there that want to be liberos. Don't be afraid to just let your body do what it needs to do. Because, I mean, he always talks about, okay, I run into tables and stuff. Because, I mean, I don't really have a fear. If there's a chair there, there's a trainer around the corner. They can help me out if I need it. So, I mean, as long as the ball's up and you're still helping your team out, that's really all that I pay attention to. And that's what I want other people to do as well.
We do have a disclaimer though. It happened last year. She was running almost into one of the pillars in the convention center, and the
Hey,
coach had to stop her to do it.
hey.
And so so
Wasn't my
no
best
fear,
moment.
no fear, but watch the pillar. That's all I'm telling you. No fear,
Pillars,
but watch the pillar. That's all.
especially ones that are not padded. So
I'm just saying
yes,
they use those to keep the building up, so it's not going anywhere for
My
her.
mom always says that like when people sign to come join our club and stuff, that if you're on a team with me, you're basically signing to make sure that you won't get upset if I accidentally run into you or anything like that. Cause I'm coming and you gotta either get out the way or just endure everything that's coming from my end. So
All the good ones that I know of and have seen are wired like you are. So kudos and don't lose that. If someone try and tell you to tone it down, don't be authentically you throughout your playing career. Yeah, I was looking for. I emailed your dad. I was like, when I saw your commitment, I was like, congrats. And to think that you say you really just been in a position for 3 years, that really says a lot about your work ethic
yes, it
and your
does.
ability. So I definitely give you huge props.
you.
Um, because that I mean, you know, like 3 years in a position like that, again, you anchor, like it starts with you, like
Hmm.
serve receive. Like if you don't get a
Yes,
good pass, they can't get in offense, right? So
right,
the better the pass, the more balanced the offense can be. For those of y'all who don't pay attention to volleyball, and
right,
so
right, right,
I
that
do.
right.
that's that's
I'm with
that's
you.
so
Hey,
important from the initial serve. Um,
yeah,
and if you're
yep.
good at it, then they try and serve away from you. And
Hmm.
if you got
Hmm.
an outside or something like that, or another DS that maybe don't pass two or better, that's who they're going after because they know better than to hit in your direction. So
Hmm.
that's huge. When it's 3 years in the spot, that's kind of unheard of.
Yeah, it's pretty
Hmm.
cool. After she committed, I had a one-on-one call with the head coach at OU, and we were talking. I was just asking the question like, "Hey, what kind of training does she need?" Because she hadn't played the
Right,
position for 3 years, and it was interesting the comment he made. He said, um, "I think she's good right now," and I was like, "Well, she hadn't really had any. I mean, again, club is like AAU basketball, like it's moving, so you're not really
right,
training per se. I mean, you're getting some lessons, but you're not really training. But she's never had really formal training playing libero. It's like you said earlier,
wow.
she's an athlete." And so he said, well, the good thing, that's actually probably a good thing right
Mhm.
now. And so
Hmm.
he said the interesting about Laila is she's usually a libero is good at defense or they're
Yeah,
good at serve receive.
yeah,
And he's
Right,
like, she's
right.
actually good at both of them. And so to
Yes.
hear that from him, this is
Yeah.
after she
Yeah.
committed, right? It's not like she's going, she committed. He's like, she's good at both of
Right.
them. So yeah, she just needs to continue to get stronger and continue to get reps.
Right.
That's all she needs to do. And so, but he's like, yeah, I mean, doesn't need to. But that's the kind of the crazy thing is she's been playing the position for 3 years with not really any training in it. YouTube. watching college liberos and stuff like that. So
Hey, I got it from your athletics. Don't worry about that. Your athleteness, your athletic.
there you go.
I'm giving you some props.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
We know better.
Well, thank you. I mean, I appreciate
You always
that.
talk about your third place in your little church league. So
That's right. Third place church league, man. It was good. That's third place co-ed volleyball.
Oh yeah.
Right, third place church league.
Okay, that YMCA league.
That's
good.
right. That's right. That's it. So she took a little bit. I mean, I got a chance to play a little bit of football at Texas A&M. So I gave her a little bit of props.
We know. We gave
But
you.
her mom, it was all her
you
mom, though. Her mom, the volleyball mom. Remember the hierarchy. The hierarchy.
Right. Yeah. The hierarchy, especially in the houshole.
I'm at the bottom, so I don't get any love.
Exactly. We all experience that as well. And who is your favorite player to watch, or who you try to remember your game after?
Well, I mean, she kind of just graduated. I did love watching Elena Scott last season.
Okay,
I
from
thought
Louisville.
she was so good. And even she didn't even start as a libero. She was a setter before she came to Louisville. So I also kind of connected with that since it wasn't
Wow.
my position yet. I always enjoyed watching her play. She always put her body out on the line. She always was calm whenever she needed to be. And it was just something that I enjoyed watching. This year, I got to find my libero. I gotta find it. I mean, right now the OU libero is doing really, really well. They're tied right now in the fifth set, so they're like at the very end. So we're just trying to see if we can pull it out.
Come on, SEC.
Definitely right. But SEC is going to be fun in the years to come, especially knowing you're there and to say that we can actually see all you young ladies play. So we're looking forward to that as well. But I have to admit, when I'm on it's volleyball dads and people who appreciate the game and know it, right? We watch the liberos and how good they are, just diving for balls, going to get balls, and we've seen even this season as well. I've seen some great play by liberos. I watched the Nebraska Stanford game. Which was I'm sorry, Texas Stanford game.
Stanford, yeah,
and
the other night.
That was a good game. And we talk about runs and all that stuff that people have, and you think I thought Stanford came back and had it. I thought Texas really had it. Stanford came back. I said, I thought Stanford really had it. I was like, oh, here come Texas. So
those nerves in the trenches.
Yes.
You know, you Stanford's young setter kind of gave them some balls that they were forced to tip. People don't understand, like they couldn't swing on them. Like, and if you know the game and watch it, you understand. Like Ruben wouldn't have normally, tipped if it wasn't tight.
Swing.
So again, those are learning lessons, but that's how kids develop. They develop by playing, and so you make that sacrifice early by putting in your dogs and let them get their growing pains out the way. So come November, they're adjusted to the speed of the game.
And I told I won't get in college volleyball, but Texas had them 2-0, and Stanford didn't give up.
It was almost a reverse sweep.
So,
And
like I said, it should have been. Stanford probably, looking back, but like I said, that's volleyball. So I would love it, right? Because you never know the end.
Well, I look at SMU just they swept A&M. I'm like, they was beating everybody, and then they got swept.
When you have kind of, I say, especially on any given night, if you got pretty much equal talent, outside of Nebraska, that's just super loaded.
Yeah,
I mean, Texas loaded as well. But when you got remotely equal, anyone have a not so good night, they can be beat.
It goes
and that's the thing, because all these kids play club, and so most of them should have some sort of pride about themselves as well.
Right.
And they feel that they're competitors. And so you can't.
I've seen these young ladies across the court now too have the exposure, and now you have a chance to play with them more, and you see them, you want to beat them, and you love playing against them and stuff. And then we talked about so many topics as well. I think about volleyball. We talked about the fact that Penn State setter who also just took a step. I mean, so many things go into sports beyond just playing the game, the physical pieces of it, the mental pieces of it. And, it's so many segments of stuff we really want to talk about too. We don't get to, but one day we're going to have we're doing these setters, liberos, and middles, and outside here. We kind of doing a little combo thing of now trying to get people on the show, and we're going to have some of your favorite libero friends on the show as well. But we may have you. because we want to make sure to come on the show and talk a little bit about your experience. 'Cause I think people want to understand a little bit more about your recruiting process, your approach to being libero, what makes you special, and what are things and techniques and tools that you can train others coming behind you. They're very interested in the position too, because once again, it's one of the more dynamic positions and different one. And everybody wants to know beyond, why is that young lady in a different color jersey?
Yeah.
It's always that question.
Even the principal of the high school asked that question last year.
Yeah.
Why is she in a different color jersey? She came back to me, hey, she's in a different color jersey. Why is that?
Yeah, she got the wrong jersey on. No. That's the way it is. No, that's the way it is. So they don't understand that. We appreciate that as well. Well, I mean, we've talked to you for a long time now. We know it's getting late. You still watching an OU game. So those of y'all know she's watching the OU play on her TV screen, and as well as we're filming here tonight. So we really appreciate it. But Kevin, anything you want to leave our parents with and stuff? And like I said, don't be shy. Damon and I love to have people repeat, come back on the show over time. And like I said, we're going to look forward to getting Laila back on too. Maybe more important, getting her than you.
Yeah, get her.
She's
better than me. I'm telling you, she's better.
Take a step.
There you have it. There you
But
have
we
it.
want more volleyball dads to come on the show and talk about their great experience. So spread the word, etc. I can see her getting excited over there, so we know what's happening in the game. Probably the way she wanted to go. But tell us anything you want to tell us, Kev, before we go.
But no, I tell you, I mean, I do want to say, I've listened to y'all last couple of years, so I want to say thank you to you two for putting this platform out there. And I just think, I love when y'all always talk about it's therapeutic.
It is.
Right, because it is. I can sit in my car and drive to work, and I'm listening to this, and sometimes I'll have it on while we're going to practice in DC, and it's like, oh, you listen to volleyball. That's like,
I got to get my podcast in before we go.
I got to go. So I appreciate y'all doing it, man, because again, there's always the volleyball moms out there, but it's good to have the dads to have something they can listen to and talk about, especially in this game of volleyball, man. Something I've learned and enjoyed over the last 4 or 5 years, in this game. But I would just say everybody has their journey, man. Everybody does. And, we just had a girl just now as a senior just commit to go to college. She's going to Denison College. But everybody has that journey. And when it comes to this recruiting thing, if you want to play, there's a place for you. But you just got to own it at the end of the day. As a parent, the player, you got to own it. And it's tough because I got one here who didn't want to. But I just kept saying, do you want to play in college?
Oh,
She wanted to be 15.
Yeah.
It's hard to try and have them make adult decisions.
That's it, at that age. So it's your journey, but man, I'm just glad I got a chance to hang out with y'all for a little bit, man. I mean, been wanting to do this for a while. I appreciate it. Always talking to you and seeing you at tournaments.
Absolutely.
Yelling and screaming at people, seeing Spurs walk around, he got his all black on, it's always cool to see him because he'll put the camera up. Now, I see him with his wife. All of a sudden, he makes that walk. And he just stops right there, right by the ref stand.
Hey, where do I stop? Where do I stop?
Right by the ref stand. It's right there to the right. It's probably about 2 feet away from it. You're a little bit off the net, and but it was good to see both of you. I know, Dane, we caught up a couple of years ago.
Because my daughter's a setter, so I just want to make sure I see her and she gets contact with her. Like, look, get it right now.
I know she probably had. You coach him up too. I can see out there. I watched you, man. You coached him up a little bit. I saw him changing plays a little bit based on some things you said. So.
And look, he's the #1 cheerleader. He's gotten a hell of a lot better from getting on the refs about their not so good calls. Because we all know that any call that goes against your team is never a good call.
It's not a good call. I think that ref needs his own card. He needs his own red card out.
Well,
hey, that might be my new thing. I might bring my purple card with me.
But I do want to say that both of y'all will in the next year be playing with a few Metro girls on your team. So I know Morgan's coming to Tennessee with Zoe and Spurs. They'll have the twins from our 8 who are there right now.
They just got there.
I know the twins. We saw the twins. Yeah.
So that'd be good. You got a little Metro blood in you a little bit. So that's
why. Right, we have a little Metro blood. But when
that's right. That's why this East Coast channel is here for you. This East Coast channel is here for y'all, man. If you want to open it up.
As you say, born out of Texas, baby.
I won't get into my 90s Texas. I was about to go 90s on your home of something, but I wasn't going to do it. I'm going to leave it alone.
Hey, we all detect the roots. But no, that's all great. We appreciate it. And like I said, to all our listeners out there, we appreciate this. Hope you enjoyed this also podcast. Of course, we'll be back
share,
with Rhythm
and follow.
Now.
Please do.
Follow us. Y'all make sure y'all send it out later to your friends, Tell
I'll
them
post it.
repost
I'll
it.
post on my
Follow
Instagram.
us on X. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on
On
YouTube.
YouTube. Yep.
All those different things, and we'll be ready to go. So, Volleyball Dads Podcast at gmail.com. Emails your questions. We love the fact that y'all send in questions and some of the hilarious things that y'all ask about that we not, because you don't want, if you want to come on the show and talk about it, come on. We open to everybody. But we got a lot more dads want to come on, and we got some new players that are going to join the show too. They're in college right now.
Yeah.
We like to say we're going
Coaches.
to have liberos, setters, and hitters and middle blockers on. I'll let them talk a little bit about their expertise in their position. So we're going to make it really fun this year. But to our sponsors and potential sponsors, you know how to find us.
There you go.
As Dion would say, we ain't hard to find.
Have this one back on, man. You get a chance, have her back on. I'm telling you, she's
Hey, we're gonna have a libero show, and we're gonna bring. I want to say libero style. I want to pull y'all together to talk about the different techniques you have, and I have a couple in mind already. That's gonna be a good show.
It will. It will.
Appreciate
All right,
it,
with that, we are Dame. I think we out, brother.
Yeah, we out.
All right, well, appreciate y'all, Chadwicks and Volleyball Dads. We out. Peace.